Oh shoot, that worked. Am I streaming? I can't even tell if I'm streaming or not. I'm gonna be honest. Oh shoot, I am. Yo, this is crazy, guys. I can see my own stream right now. Testing, testing. Hello, hello. Oh, all right. I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I'm just gonna draw. I have nothing to do anyways. It's gonna be hard to track because I don't really have a second monitor, so I can't really see my chat properly. How do I set this up, bro? How do I set up chat, bro? This is my first time streaming. How do I do this? Let me search on Google real quick. How to set up chat in live stream. How to add a YouTube live chat overlay. I want to be able to stream with the YouTube live chat on the screen as well. Try to do it through a dock or browser source. Gotta download this, bro. Alright, let me download this executable real quick and see if it works. One concurrent viewers? Who the hell is one? Who the hell found my stream? How the fuck did people find my stream already, bro? What is this one concurrent viewers? Is that? I think that's me. I think that's me. Yeah, there's no way. No, there's no. Yeah, I don't think there's like someone watching my stream right now. Bro, I just joined, bro. Okay. It feels really weird. I'm on stream right now. That means like people are watching me. I don't know. I don't know how to stream, bro. Who the hell liked my? Someone is actually watching, bro. Yo, show yourself, bro. Who's my first ever like watcher right now? Cause I have one like, and that is definitely not me. Who is doing this, bro? Yeah, I'm just gonna continue drawing, bro. Actually, I want to set up my stream chat just in case, bro. Like in the future, maybe I'll get like people watching me. Maybe I can entertain like a crowd. I'm just streaming like without any plans. I'm just like going at it, bro. I mean, I don't know. Let me run this file real quick. Space required is 1 GB. Are we dead ass? I need 1 GB for that. Alright, it's fine.
Dad? Yes, Dad. Dad.
Why is my grandma here?
Listen ka na. Ako na, yes, Dad. Akin na yung plato. Dad. Ako na. Akin na yung plato, hoy. Okay lang ka magbabasa. Mamaya, pagdating ni mama mo, ha? Saturday na ngayon. Dalawang araw na, tali pati yung gamit mo. Papaayos ko.
Ayoko magbasa. Oh my god. Someone really liked my stream. Who the hell is watching, bro? How do I have one like? This is weird. All right. Let me see how I should set my YouTube chat overlay. Hmm. Let me see what my stream looks like. Okay, so nothing popped up. How do I set up chat, bro? I'm so stupid. Alright, fuck this stupid shit, bro. I don't even know I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna lock in on drawing. Just-
Tanggalin mo nga ito, Idol. Ano ba ito? Gabriel,
Ah,
tanggalin mo nga yan. Nakakabwisit.
uh,
Ano ba yun?
one concurrent viewers. I don't believe that, bro. It has to be like some bot. Hmm. It's a draw this like emo eye hair, bro. I'm trying to draw that one character from Arknight Sunfield. I should definitely put some songs, bro. Hold on. Let me see if I can play sounds midstream. It'll be cool if I can play some songs. Okay, that's my Sidemen Among Us video. Wait, hold on. Minecraft, but I have the Death Note. It's a funny one. Hold on, let me just scroll through my. Let me see what songs I can play. I also don't got no songs to play. I'm gonna be honest. So let me see. Do we like listen to like some documents maybe? I think we can listen to some documents. Some documentation videos. Then we can do like the. Why am I saying bro? I don't even know if people are watching right now. No one's even watching. Zero concurrent views. So 4 views. Where did you get the 4 views? I think that's just me. I believe that's me. But who the hell liked my stream? Is okay, whatever. I'm just gonna listen to some like Mugen videos. Let's see. How PETA turned an entire country against it overnight. How a VTubing biggest grifter got bullied off the internet. All right, let's go and listen to this document since I got no music for you for the people watching. Well, not like there's anyone watching anyways. Let me pull this image out real quick. There it is. They put it right here in the corner. Hold on, that might be me, bro. I might be a grifter. I'm low-key the type to just like believe in like to pretend I believe in something when I actually don't give a shit. I'm gonna be a grifter, guys. Hee hee. Guy has a messy hair. That's crazy. A 100,000 followers in less than 2 years. That's pretty big. This is Twitch, right? I think that should be like a fucking. That's like a big thing in Twitch. Oh, I didn't set up my desktop audio. I just realized. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I forgot I didn't even set my thing up. So I'm basically like talking to myself right now. Nobody can see what's going on. That's crazy. How do I set up my thingy? 5 viewers. Someone watched it and then left the stream. I found I can like, dude. I think this works. So.
From her past would catch up to her and expose to us all that
there we
she's
go.
actually
That works,
one of those minorities that she insulted daily. It would turn out that she is Pakistani. This is where her entire life falls apart as her Sims try to grapple with the fact that she is a minority. But of course, it doesn't end here, because she might have committed a pretty serious crime that made her eventually want to delete all her socials to scrub the proof.
I'm gonna be
And
honest, I
yes,
don't know
it
much about
involved a
like,
minor.
the
This is one of
VTubing
the more
scene.
uniquely
I just watch
disturbing videos I've ever
videos
made.
'cause
And word of
Mugen is
warning,
Mugen.
throughout all of it,
We all love
you'll lose
Mugen.
hope in humanity multiple times. So before we get started, I thought I'd get the good news out of the way first. I was able to achieve a very cool goal of mine, hiring my artist Weioang full time. Yes, the same artist who makes illustrations of me all the time and who also made my VTuber model. This was all thanks to your guys' support and, of course, Stacked. It's a creator platform that aims to rival other sites like Patreon. But instead of forcing you to sign up to paid memberships in order to take a more attractive percentage, they just take a flat 10%, nothing more, nothing less. And on the day of this video uploading,
There'll be
I'm launching
advertisement.
my page with them. There are multiple tiers on my page.
Let me
all
go
meant to give you
advertise
the
my
most
Krita,
value out of your
guys.
money.
Krita
They
is
include 4 high-quality
I didn't
illustrations from
prepare a
Wayo
script, never
every
mind. I'm
month,
not
as
gonna
well
even
as
do
2 exclusive rambling videos.
Next time
from
I'll
me where
prepare.
I just
I'll
yap.
memorize like a
So
script
if you have
of me
insomnia, I
just
think this is
glazing Krita,
perfect
bro.
for you.
Like
I'll
like
be
a,
very
like 3
active there, so
paragraphs
if you're
or
interested, the
something.
link's going to be in the description and the pinned comment.
Just to
And
annoy
now that the
people.
good news is finally out of
That'd
the
be so
way,
bad. That'll
let's
be
get
so
to the bad
funny.
news. The entire story of Elfin Psyop. Let's do this. Alright, so first off, what is a girl failure? This is something that Elfin Psyop would identify as for the entirety of her career. It's also one of the main reasons she
How the
was able to
fuck do I
gain
draw
so
men,
much
bro?
influence in such a short time. Well, if you Google this term, you'll get a definition saying a fictional girl or woman who is endearingly pathetic or inept. And while yes, this is true to some degree, it barely
Girl
touches on
failure.
the whole story. In fact, if I had to explain what a girl failure meant, then I would say it's nothing more than a modern and extremely bastardized version of a damsel in distress. Yes, the idea of a woman that finds herself in such a desperate and helpless situation and can only ever hope to get out of it thanks to the help of a man, preferably a white knight in shining armor. He would extend his hand to her, he would save her, and they would live their life happily ever after, with the man taking full credit for the woman's happiness. At its essence, this is exactly what the term girl failure means. A woman who is such a loser, someone who can't take care of themselves, that's just waiting on a man that can fix her. But when it came to Elfin, she wasn't just a girl failure, she also happened to be
I don't know where
someone who
these
was
people
very
come
mentally ill and severely alcoholic. But don't take my word for it. This is how she would introduce herself to people who would find her account on Twitter. Hello, new people. I'm Elfin.
Let me go look at my
I'm a loser.
thing real
In
quick.
parentheses,
I
girl
wanna see if
failure.
it's working.
Whatever. Stinky elf federal agent. I love bugs and I've got bruises. I'm a very messy person, tired, and a massive alcoholic.
All right,
My
that is
interests are conspiracy theories, astronomy, military history, and coding. I'm also
We go look-
extremely edgy, so you might see me post retarded rants while drunk. Wow, what a flattering introduction. I can totally see how she needs a white knight to save her from her predicament. But other than her making alcohol her entire personality and being a very clear example of what a pick-me girl is, you'd probably never guess that this person started streaming in February of 2024 and by mid-2025 had over 100,000 followers. So how the hell did she manage to become so big in such a short amount of time while having an extremely loyal community that would practically die for her? Well, it involved a multitude of different factors. One of the first factors is that she was edgy, like extremely edgy. It's as if she was competing for the edgy Olympics and wanted first place. Like this right here was a tweet of someone saying they went to the mental hospital and the nurse laughed at them for attempting to leave this planet, right? What does Elfin do? She would quote tweet this and say, "Can I just say you deserve it if you fail at it? Like it ain't fucking hard to kill yourself, I'm sorry." How about this tweet? "Some black people shouldn't have rights." Or this one, where she says, "So I became a Nazi, yeah bitch, I'm the villain," showing a German pistol. She tried way too hard, and for the average person, this was extremely cringy. Like in this massive tweet with multiple paragraphs, she's basically saying, "Oh, you're saying the N-word hard R, you think it makes you based? Edgy cool? Say actual vile shit. I want more edginess." Like imagine lacking so much self-awareness that you think this is actually cool. This was as far back as November 2024, and look, it would have normally been ignored. She's not the first one to be this edgy on Twitter. Normally, right? Someone like Elfin would have never gained
Okay,
more than
hold on.
10,000
Let me just
followers.
reset
I would
the
have
eyes,
never
bro,
had to
'cause,
make a
like,
video about her to begin with. So what was
struggling with
really
the eyes
one
for
of
some
the
reason.
main factors that put her on
Goddamn,
the map?
it's
What changed
embarrassing.
everything for her and her entire career? Well, her belly. That's right. And I wish I was making this up. I'm talking about her belly, her stomach, her abdomen. she would periodically
Belly?
post pictures of it on Twitter, and she would
What
gain
the-
tens of thousands of likes.
What the
like, for example,
fuck?
I remember this one because I saw it on my feed.
I cannot show
It
that
had
on
the
stream,
caption of,
guys.
whatever, enjoy.
bro,
And it was
I cannot
literally
show that
just
on
her
stream.
abdomen. Here's the high res. I mean, it's nothing special,
Jesus
right? So why did this
Christ,
post in particular gain 15,000 likes? Well,
We
because she's a
cannot show
VTuber.
that, guys.
I wish I was kidding. At this point, one could call this a kink, and the Twitter algorithm rewards it heavily. Like recently, I saw a picture of cleavage on my feed. It had over 20,000 likes. I was like, what makes this cleavage so fucking interesting? I went to that person's profile and I saw they had 200 followers, but get this, they had a VTuber profile picture. That's right. The appeal that someone who is anonymous, that is too shy to show their face, is sharing skin. Elfin loved the attention this brought her. So as I said, she would post this periodically, and every time she would gain so much attention on her profile. It's insane. But it doesn't simply end here. After the horny guys would follow her because she has a nice looking belly, they'd start seeing her other tweets. Her girl
I know a
favorite
person
tweets,
that
where she
likes
would say
bellies
things
a
like,
lot.
"I'm 20, I've never had a boyfriend. I'm a virgin. I've never kissed,
Oh,
fucked,
God.
or anything before. I hate myself so
That's
much.
so
This is such
good.
a terrible situation." Look at this post, for example. Legit just gooned and it looked exactly like this. I'm fucking literally her. I stink right now. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm so upset. I wish I fucking had real life friends. I should be out hanging out at a bar right now. This
Okay,
post,
that's some-
posted
that's
on December
fucked,
14th,
though.
2024,
Jesus
would have
Christ.
over
Actually
2.9
fucking go
million
outside.
views and 85,000
I'm actually probably say that
likes,
to myself,
as
but,
well
like, it's like
as
2 p.m. It's
1,000
like
comments
scorching hot in
and
the Philippines. We're not doing that, huh?
28,000 bookmarks. This is one of the most pathetic posts you can imagine, and there it is, going viral. She'd post something like this every single day. And it all goes back to the whole damsel in distress phenomenon that I was talking about earlier. She was a VTuber who only had male interests. She was edgy, racist, and seen as based by some people, and she had a nice looking belly, which makes people's imaginations run wild. They think if it looks that good, then her face must look amazing too, the rest of her body as well. But the cherry on top is that even though she's all these things, she also happens to be a girl failure. She's someone who hates her life. She has no friends, she lives alone in the UK as a student, and the cherry on top was that she was a virgin, guys. She was pure. A witch could use her tears to make a potion, and she was just
Holy
waiting
damsel
for the
in
right guy to fix her
distress
and wife
can
her
speak English.
up. She understood this very well. But even though this was all a very elaborate plan to begin with, she still managed
There we go.
to take
Finally,
it to
bro.
a
Okay,
very
I was looking
worrying
kind of decent
next
for once.
level. And that would be when
But this is just
you
a
would take
sketch.
the
It's
next
not like
step to
what?
join.
I don't know
her
why I'm
Discord.
okay. I need
Her
to
Discord
stop
is
this
exactly
like
what you'd
habit
expect.
where I
Elfin would
like
spend a
take.
worrying
I use a lot of
amount
effort on
time on there.
sketch.
She was
It's like,
practically
okay.
chronically online, and anyone could pretty
not a
much
good habit,
talk
guys,
to her.
huh?
Most
Don't be like
conversations
me.
revolved around two things. The first one being
not like
about
anyone's watching my
racism, and the
stream
second
anyway,
one
so it
being
doesn't
about
matter.
her being a massive gooner. Here you can see someone saying, Elfin's been mostly quiet on the server today because she's embarrassed about how hard she was horny posting while drunk last night. To which Elfin replies, we're not talking about that. A viewer would say, you gonna call her a good girl or is that just for you? Elfin would say, me. And an amazing example right here, someone saying, Elfin, do you choke yourself? And Elfin replying with, yeah. It was pretty much a server just to worship her and hope that she'll give you attention. Additionally, you'd see her say obscene things that she couldn't even post on Twitter. Like, for example, if I had to f a dog, it'd be a husky. I genuinely don't know what to say about that, dude. Like, I genuinely, I mean, I'm speechless, but I wish things ended here. Elfin would take this parasocialism that she had built in her Discord server to a level that no other VTuber had ever taken it to, especially if they were the same size and influence. During her career, she would post over 11 different audios of her literally gooning with a vibrator. And get this,
The
she wouldn't
fuck?
like post them in a private channel with her top donators or whatever. No. She would post it in general, in the channel that anyone who joins the server has
8 views.
access to. Now look,
Bro,
I'd
people
love
be passing by
for
my
you to
stream and
listen
then just, like,
to this clip in particular
leaving
because
immediately.
it is so ridiculous, but you can literally hear a vibrator in the background, okay? So instead, I'll reenact the first 10 seconds for you because it is one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard in my entire
You're
life.
hot
and I
streaming with
mean
like
that.
only one
She goes,
monitor. Can't really see like most
in
of
the
the
most
stuff. I have
like
to like
lolly
tab.
voice possible. Then she says, if there's any Slavic guy out there that wants to marry me and kill N-words hard R, I want to murder all N-words hard R. And I'm telling you, during the whole thing, you can hear a vibrator going bzzz in the background. Like, bro, what are we
the
doing here?
hell?
Like, what is my life? What the
What
is
the
this?
fuck
That
have
already
we
tells you a lot
gone
about who
through,
this
bro?
person is, right? And of course, if you were to confront her about this, she'd say,
It's not
"Oh,
a
I
good
don't remember.
reference. Hold on.
I
Let me
was
find
drunk.
another reference.
I'm an
There's
alcoholic.
this
It's
one
my
as
entire
well.
personality." And now you might be making the mistake of thinking, Mugen, all right, I
Okay,
get
this
it.
is a
I
very
get
low
why she had
quality
so many
image, bro.
followers, and
Oh
I
my
get why she
God.
made so
Can we
much
get, like, a
money.
good
But I
one?
mean, buddy, do you really
I
think I
think
was
it's
gonna let you
Wolf.
go that easily? No, because now the fun
An Enfield?
begins.
An
What do
Enfield?
you do when you have an army of
There it is. Okay, that's
100,000
not a bad
military-aged
quality.
men who willingly castrated their balls to worship you? Well, you start reaching deep into their pockets by suicide baiting. Tweets like this wouldn't be an uncommon find. with
Suicide
Elfin,
baiting?
saying
The
things like,
fuck?
genuinely want to kill
Why are there
myself,
so many
man.
like
Or
words
how
that
about this
I
post on her
never
Discord
even
saying,
knew
I
were
just got charged
words,
like
right?
$1,800
Like,
about as tax.
suicide
I'm literally
baiting?
exempt from paying
Have we
that.
lost
She's
it,
a
chat?
student in the UK.
Like,
They
what?
just plainly took my money for my tuition
Suicide
and I have to pay
baiting?
rent soon, like a
Oh,
year's
we dead
worth. I'm gonna
us,
actually fucking kill myself. She would then talk about how depressed she is and unmotivated and oh my god, I need to earn rent. Even though, as you might guess, none of this was actually true. She'd keep this lie going on other platforms too, saying, I'm getting kicked out my apartment soon if I don't pay for a whole year up front. Time to find a new house or go homeless, I guess.
Damn.
Streaming from under a bridge. Fuck. She'd have 101 replies, all
Let's be- I
begging
thought
to
it's
help
like the
and
same
wishing
as
her the
LARPing,
best
but
and
no,
being
bro.
worried about her.
It's
Or
like the
Elfin.
fucking
Now get
character.
this. She'd say, does anyone want to buy my blanket I used to hump every day for money? I need money for rent. Thanks. Now look, most people, if they tweet something like this, they'd be laughed at. Maybe people will think, oh, they're just joking. As I had mentioned already, Elfin had an army of 100,000 men who castrated themselves just to worship her. So what do you think actually happened? She got offers. Someone would say, actual? Question mark? Offer? Question mark? Elfin would reply with $1,000 runes, to which someone would say, PayPal or Venmo. She had these guys wrapped around her finger, and she knew that. She'd somehow always end up being short on money no matter how much people donated, and at some point would even open commissions. Yeah, well, it turned out that her commissions were her just finding a Japanese artist, stealing their art, and then adding small modifications and making it her
Ah,
own.
hell
Her fans
nah.
didn't care.
Now
Listen,
that's where
she
we
was a
draw the
girl
line.
failure. She wasn't perfect. Yeah, she did some
Okay,
weird
my bad.
things, but don't worry, they'll be the one
Dude, that's
to fix
cooked,
her.
bro. Oh
So
my
chill.
God.
Elfin had
That's some
essentially
bullshit,
done
bro.
what no other edgy VTuber could have ever hoped to achieve. She said some of the most vile, racist shit known to mankind, all while having a massive army of simps supporting her. God, I mean, she must have felt invincible, like she could do anything, like she was untouchable, and to be honest, she was. But that was, of course, until her entire world crumbled right before her very eyes, all due to someone she thought she could trust. On December 4th, 2024, I'd release a video titled How This Entitled VTuber Lost Her Career Overnight. It would talk about Gunpei, an extremely edgy VTuber that had 1/10 of the audience Elfin Psyop has. You see, someone made a fan-made plushie of her and wanted to sell it. She had a complete crash out and started being racist towards them. The entire
What?
VTuber community rallied against her, and instead of apologizing, she doubled, tripled, then quadrupled down. It was very embarrassing and humiliating just for about anyone who had self-awareness. Now, after my video would come out, some people would take it upon themselves to investigate her further. What they'd end up finding is a very, and I mean very, parasocial community. You couldn't even join her Discord server if there was any doubt that you were a woman. Gunpei would immediately ban you and say that she doesn't want any other man in her server to give attention to any other woman but herself. She essentially acted as everyone's girlfriend, but it went way beyond that. If you sent her a
It's like some
picture of
crazy
your
parasocialness,
sausage,
bro.
yes, your straight up genitalia in DMs, instead of blocking you like 99.99% of women, she would instead give it a rating. She'd compliment it. She'd write a paragraph about it. Yeah,
What?
trust me, I was shocked too. Anyone
What?
could essentially DM her anything, and she was chronically online in her Discord. This is how she was able to get so many different gifts and so much money from her community. I know this
Yo,
already sounded
that's
familiar
crazy,
to you when it
bro.
came to Elfin, but it went deeper than that. Gunpei had another account.
It's
by the
so
name of
easy.
Zuba.
Apparently,
She was
it's
supposed to post
this
normal
easy
things
to
on there,
milk
but then
like
one day posted an image of her in a
parasocial,
bikini,
freaky,
specifically showcasing-
unemployed,
yes, you
disgusting,
guessed it, her
neck-bearded
belly.
men,
That
bro.
tweet would get
It's
over
literally that easy. It's crazy.
25,000
Compliment their dicks.
likes, and that's
Oh,
when she
wow.
would decide to make
Come
a VTuber,
on,
knowing
bro.
she could
Are
take
we
full
dead ass?
advantage of that. And she did. She was practically invincible. That whole backlash about her being racist,
Bro,
my video coming out, nothing
like,
affected her at all.
I
And
don't
her
even know what
career
to say.
still
It's like,
somehow
it's
ended.
so bad.
You know why? Well, it turned out she had a boyfriend. When you
Aw,
tell your community that
she has a
you're their
boyfriend.
collective
Uh-oh.
girlfriend, and that turns out to be
Yeah.
a boyfriend behind the scenes, you lose all your fans. It's just that simple. When this was revealed, she would scrub her YouTube channel, delete her
But being a
Discord
VTuber is
server,
not that
and
easy, guys, huh?
deactivate her Twitter account. She would briefly reactivate it later and sell her entire model and assets for around $2,200. It would somehow get bought by a viewer of mine. I hope he's enjoying the model. And that was that. It wasn't her racism. It wasn't her weird attitude. It wasn't her being an unlikable person that canceled her. It was simply her having a boyfriend. When you're parasocial,
So
you're invincible
that took
unless
it
you're
took
lying
her
to
having a
community.
boyfriend
That's the one
to
taboo rule you
become
can't break.
irrelevant
What's
now.
really funny is that
You
she would
know,
go
that's
as far as
so
trying to
funny, bro.
reinvent herself, creating a new VTuber
It took
identity
a
in May of
boyfriend just
2025,
to
and in
cancel
just the
her,
span of,
bro.
like a couple of months, people would discover that there was a lot of similarities between Gunpei and this new Mirio Maki. On July 8th, she would post an explanation apologizing for her past behavior, and she hasn't posted or streamed since then. Now, you would think that since her and Elfin shared so many similarities, back when her controversy was happening, Elfin would have maybe came in.
Is
and
this where the video
defended
ends,
her.
or?
I mean, Gunpei wasn't even.
There's still
saying
more?
half the edgy shit that.
Oh
Elfin
my
said on her
God.
feed, right? So
Okay.
come on. Surprisingly,
I
though,
thought that's the end of the
it's
story,
not
but
really a
no,
surprise.
there's still more,
Elfin
apparently.
would join the dog pile,
Okay.
saying, "Oh my God, my based racist Chuba. Ooh, it's only funny when they say unintentionally and not in an active effort to harm/insult someone. When did we lose sight of what's actually funny?" So look, this tweet makes
A lot of
absolutely
scars on his
zero
body, damn.
fucking sense. Okay, this is just
My
Elfin
bad.
being the typical
bad, chat.
pick me, seeing
Well,
that someone's
not
being
like I have a
hated
cat
and trying
anyway,
to
so
profit off of
8
it.
views still.
How? Well, it's simple. Gunpei had a lot of parasocial fans, so Elfin clearly wanted some to come to her community instead. But above all, she wanted you to know that she wasn't a grifter, okay? She was a real girl failure. She was somehow taking the moral high ground. I'm not fake like you, okay? I'm authentic. I'm as real as it gets, and I know what I'm doing. And that's the attitude she always took when she saw someone doing something similar to her and getting canceled or getting into trouble. What's deeply ironic here, though, okay, is that barely a few months after she was taking this moral high ground on Gunpei, someone would come out with a 51-page Google Doc about her on April 18th.
Are those belts around his like
2025.
collar?
His name
Yeah,
was
I think those are
Average
belts. so
Bird Enjoyer.
it's
And this was
interesting.
significant
I
because
might
he
take
was
notes on
watching
that
her
when I
from
design
the
my own
beginning, back
OCs.
in 2024, and he was one of her lead mods. He was always there for her, as well as always in her chat. I mean, look at this. On a scheduled stream on YouTube, there was a pinned message saying, "Elf is currently dead asleep. Potentially no stream today. We'll move to tomorrow if that's the case." The stream was still running as she was doing some sort of a donathon. It's kind of like a subathon, but it involves direct money. You'd hear some sort of a Discord ring on the stream, and Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and say, "That was me calling her to see if she'd wake up." Well, this is someone who, as far as the community
Nah.
is concerned, was
Even the
close
moderators
to
are
it. In
simping,
fact,
bro.
The guy wasn't just close, okay? He was borderline insane. At some point, Elfin would be streaming and she had a donation goal for PC funds set at $100. Average Bird Enjoyer would come in and donate in one payment $10,000. And most likely because he
Bro,
thought he
we've
could be the
reached
one
like
to fix
insane
it.
levels
But
of
here's the deal.
unemployment after
He
that,
wasn't the
bro.
only one. The
What?
document that Average Bird Enjoyer wrote was 51 pages long, and it involved 6 people total, including
Fucking
himself.
hell, bro.
But are we actually going to bother diving deep into this mess? Hell no. Honestly, it's so pathetic, it's not even worth doing that. I'll just sum it up for you. In a nutshell, Average Bird Enjoyer had spent over $50,000 on Elfin in the span of like less than a year. Listen, I have to specify this. He found her when she had less than
Hold on.
500 followers, probably 50.
Let me just stop the video. $15,000 on what? On a VTuber, like that will never even care for you. Like, how do you not know this, bro? Like, how are you not aware of this? Oh my god, this is so kicked. Son, I'm crying. Son,
She was not
I'm
a big
crying.
streamer by any means. But Average
Fuck
Bird Enjoyer
off.
went all out thinking that he'll genuinely be able to like be Elfin's partner, okay? That they're gonna date. He thought they were exclusive to begin with. He sent her $10,000 on that stream. He hired her an editor. He got her a manager. He was willing to pay for her new VTuber model. They met up IRL and he took her to multiple Michelin star restaurants. Dude blew a fucking
Really?
apartment's down payment on this girl failure. But he was the only guy who actually had to spend this much money. The other 5 guys spent almost nothing. And they got the same treatment that he got. What was that treatment, you might
No.
ask? Well, other than meeting up with her IRL and doing stuff, yeah, she's not a virgin. I mean, who could have ever guessed that? It all
Yeah,
would
wow,
start with
okay.
them
Very
messaging her,
surprising.
being in her Discord, right? Messaging her and her reciprocating. She would then get in calls with them. Okay, listen. She would then get in calls with them. And as they were talking, right, they could be talking about their day, a game they're playing, whatever. She would start to flick her fucking bean, bro. She would
The
start
fuck?
gooning right then and there to their voice. No warning, no nothing, dude. And then after she'd be done, she'd send them explicit pictures. These guys would, of course, be shocked. What the hell is happening, dude? And then the next day when they'd ask her about it, she'd say, oh, I don't remember anything. I was severely drunk. Please delete all my pictures. However, she'd keep doing it over and over and over.
Hell nah.
Each of these guys thought that she was being exclusive just with them when she was doing this with 6 people at the same f***ing. And as I said, she'd meet up with them, she'd do things with them, God knows what. But overall, she wasn't this pure virgin girl failure she was making herself out to be. That's pretty much the 51 pages in a nutshell. It also involved incredible DMs like this, with Elfin saying, Birdie it's you, Birdie you. If you just touch my noe, my puffy, it'll make me fub. Kun, teal it faster. Winku, you know.
What? Yeah. No.
And gins what good do. Average bird enjoyer would then say, translated, Elfin telling me if I touched her pussy, she'd come
Oh
fast.
My God.
What
You know how
am
cooked
I
that is,
doing
huh?
with my life? Anyway, when this document came out, Elfin was furious. She was watching her entire world crumble around her. She saw what happened with Gunpei and did not want the same to happen to her. She had been parasocial her entire career.
Oh, okay.
Her
So that's
entire
the
Discord
okay.
was
Sorry,
obsessed
hold
with
on.
her.
So this side
She
of the
can't
arm
have
has like
this
that weird
leak.
thingy.
And yet it did. So she would tweet this out almost immediately, saying, I see shit like this and know for a fact that these people barely do any research and just love saying shit. I had phone sex for a couple of days or weeks with some guys. Okay, wait, hold the phone. Days or weeks? That's a huge range. Anyway, I told all of them day one I was not into dating, and they agreed with me. Most of them don't even care about the situation. They went out of their way to message me just to say how stupid this drama was. Only Bird and another person who repeatedly tried to threaten and dox me were emotional homosexuals. Bird not only went around trying to poison my community, he actively shared information about me to other server members in an attempt to make them join his side. He went to all my mods and all my close friends in the
Damn,
server.
bro, look at
People
them
saying, oh my god,
titties.
there's no
That's
evidence of
crazy.
Bird being a bad guy. First of all, 51-page expose about someone you apparently cared about as a friend, his words. If you really wanted to help me to stop my pattern of behavior, you could discuss it with me like everything else. Just to cut her off here, something else that was mentioned in those 51 pages was how when every single one of these guys found out what she was doing and confronted her, she would lash out. She'd get very angry and she wouldn't want to listen to a single thing they had to say, especially when they had something to say about alcohol, okay? Anyway, let's continue. But no, I only talked to Bird that way for a month. I crave validation from men. I admit I wanted compliments and I wanted attention, but he acted as if he was my dad. His friend would try to wingman and tell me I should meet Bird and just be with him. He could make my life so much better, and I straight up told him I wasn't into Bird. I have screenshots and evidence. Also, when I first started streaming and Bird came along, I was 19 at the time, extremely new to VTubing and having this much attention. He taught me
19
everything
years
about
old.
VTubing and keeping me in a bubble.
I am
He would then
18
talk
right
about
now.
The point of women not taking
Like,
accountability,
what?
saying, motherfucker, all I've done is say I'm
How
not a victim.
young
You
are
keep
these
fucking
guys,
saying I was
bro,
wrong too. Why are you
doing
just
this
ignoring
shit?
this? Oh my
Like,
gosh,
it's so
shit, I don't know
fucked.
who. I was dating no one at the
I'm
time. I never dated
19.
any of
I'm
them, and I
still.
have screenshots
I mean,
of some
I'm
of these
18. I'm
guys
still.
saying they
I'm
knew
like
what it was,
picking my
but
own
not
booger,
dating.
bro.
We had phones
Eating it.
gooning
Like,
on
and these
call.
guys are like
She would then make
fucking
another
sexting
quoting
and shit.
something
Like
that many people were saying, oh my god,
dating
this poor
and
lonely
like.
man.
I mean, dating
while she
is like
replied,
not
while we're
bad.
25 plus
It's
adults.
the
If a 19-year-old
fucking
has to be
sexual
held
part is
accountable for
bad.
whatever she's done,
Like,
you
what?
can't possibly in good faith ignore the horrible shit these men do just because lonely. I literally live alone and talk to a total of 0 people IRL. I'm fucking
Oh my God,
lonely. And look at
actually,
this very
get a
sad
fucking
image she
life,
posted.
brother.
Oh my God, it's her
Get a life,
crying.
touch
But
grass,
guys,
and
don't
go
worry.
outside,
As
bro.
she said in her own words,
have lost
she
the
is
plot.
not acting like a victim. But look, to be completely impartial here, these guys were really
actually
weird,
really lost the plot,
especially
chat.
Average Bird Enjoyer. Look, if you go and donate $10,000 in cash right now to a top streamer, they'll fucking block you because they know that you can't be donating this much money without ulterior motives. This document was made
Yeah.
on purpose to destroy her career, isolate her, and further take advantage of her by manipulating her as she was all alone, okay? The document also revealed that she's always been known as being a certain person on 4chan. Someone who has had a history of sending
Ooh.
nudes and being explicit. They'd even go as far as saying that while she was talking to these 6 different guys, she had an IRL boyfriend. It was an attempt at totally annihilating her entire reputation. At the same time, though,
Of course,
she
that
refused to
ended
take
her,
any
bro.
accountability.
The
She
fucking
said
I
that
have
she
a
was
boyfriend
groomed.
thing.
Brother, you were
Because people are
19,
so
and you had
parasocial to the
continued
point where
by
they
that
think
point
they're
posting
dating their
gooning
streamer.
audios on your
Guys,
general chat and Discord.
if
When
you
think
guys
this
watch
it,
streamers,
the objective
don't
conclusion
just
to this
think of them
entire
as
drama
actual
was that
people.
everyone
Like, let's
in
not
this
treat them like
sucked
objects or
ass.
like
But no,
fucking
Elfin wanted
like
to be
what,
seen as
like
the victim.
playthings
And even
and
though
shit like
normally
that.
she
It's
should
kind of
have had her
fucked.
career destroyed by this
People
point,
need to
she should have been
realize that, bro.
completely
It's
abandoned by her
fucking
community.
dumb.
The opposite ended up happening. She again had defied all odds, and let me show you exactly why.
Okay, hold on. I'm
Rima
interested in
Evenstar
this
is a
one.
VTuber who makes some very detailed video essays about the
Rima
VTuber community.
Evenstar.
A couple
Don't
months
even know
after
who
this
that is.
document had dropped, she would release the video titled "She Played Her Fan Base Like a
Elfin
Dating Sim:
Psyop.
The Elfin Psyop Situation,"
Psyop,
garnering
bro.
over 100,000 views. In this video, she would constantly be referring to Elfin as a menhera, a term for a character who is emotionally unstable and in poor mental
Menhera.
health. They are very emotionally
What?
fragile and experience extreme mental ups and downs and mood swings, which can make them a bit difficult to be around. They may have an unhealthy dependence on love or their partner, be a troublesome person who displays unexpected aggression and tries to dominate others, be easily hurt by the smallest of words, or have suicidal thoughts and think the world would be better off without them. Hey man, I don't know about you, but this perfectly describes Elfin Psyop so far, right? But Elfin was outraged. She despised that video and hated Rima to the point where she added her
someone
on
was-
Twitter and
oh,
said,
someone
"Rima
chatted."
Evenstar, I don't know why you like to spread genuinely dog shit and simply false rhetoric so easily. Maybe it's because you're a drama VTuber by name, but it's
I'll
just bullshit
remember
to
you.
spread false things
I'll
without
remember you as my first
Firstly,
viewer.
when
Hold
we made the
on.
drama
Wait,
video,
someone
Omni
actually
got a
watched
lot
my
of facts
stream
wrong and didn't contact
and
me to confirm
chatted.
details either. Nice journalism. Now you're spreading shit about me suicide baiting to you? I'm sorry, what? I think you making a drama video on me during a time I
I
was
think he's gone
constantly
now. I
drunk
don't
and
know.
not in a
I
stable
don't think he's
mental
no.
state
I don't
would
think
ob-
he's watching anymore. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think they're watching anymore. Ah, frick. Who's this guy, bro? I'm the only one here, I think. Lonely. Oh man, I wasn't even able to like talk to him, bro. I was so cooked. I'll remember you. Almost potato chip, but not. I'll remember you, bro. As my first chatter.
obviously fuck me up. Like you call me Menhera all the time and don't expect me to somehow crash out? I was still relatively civil and only DM'd you about my issues with your video hoping to at least get facts straight. Believing in random people messaging you rather than the person at the center of the situation is crazy. You do not hate journalists enough. In fact, this got so bad that when Rima posted the tweet announcing the video, it would get totally brigaded by Elfin's community. 102 replies and all of them filled with insults, slurs,
Oh
and an
my
attempt
God,
to straight up
that's
character
crazy.
assassinate Rima, saying, wow, I used to watch your content, but not anymore. Wow, you're a terrible journalist. Wow, you suck at what you do, etc., etc. That's simply because Elfin had replied to this post and ratioed Rima, doubling her likes, simply saying that she is not a femcel. But this still doesn't explain how she was able to survive a Google Doc like this. This doesn't explain why she didn't end up like Gunpei. What happened exactly? Well, here's what her diehard fans had to say in response to her reply on Rima's post. And it perfectly encapsulates why she still had a very strong community that kept growing. Look at this idiot. Hey, I'd just like to say that I'm naive
fuck
and
is
emotionally
this?
vulnerable. And would be
Oh,
easily
it's like
groomed.
those like
DM me
thingies, bro.
sometime.
That like the thingy. That,
What about
that-
this
that-
dumbass? I'd
It's
be
like
honored to be
weird
one
leggings,
of
bro.
your toys.
I don't know why it's
Crazy
shaped
they're
like that. I'm gonna be
spinning it
honest.
as
I
a
don't know why.
forced or bad
okay.
thing.
I have a
Wow.
reason why I'm
So
looking
these
down here.
men
Right? Like
were
I
so
need to see and observe.
irrevocably castrated that they realized,
Right?
hey, I don't like this woman because she's a virgin. No,
Is
no,
that
no, I
justified-
like her
is
because
that
she's a girl
justified? Like,
failure, and because
am I
she
not,
might give me
you know?
a chance. If she did it with 6 different guys at the
Oh,
same
so it's
time,
like,
what's
okay, it
stopping
goes
me
like
from
this.
DMing her
So-
and finding her in a call gooning with me?
What I
If
understand
anything,
from
average
this
bird
is
enjoyer's
that
Google
there's a
document
bell here.
backfired
Of course, obviously, it's gotta be a
tremendously.
bell.
It made Elfin Psyop seem way more
And
reachable to the
then
average viewer.
There's like a weird
than they
thingy, like
thought.
like
So
on
their
top of
whole
that, it's like
fantasy,
another
or should I
layer,
say
like
delusion
kind of like a
of
legging
trying
thing.
to
I don't
fix
know.
her, wifing her up, impregnating her, and prolonging the white
And then
race
there's another one here,
wasn't
I'm
so
pretty sure.
far off. By this
Yeah,
point,
there's
Elfin
another
kept
one
getting
there, and
followers,
it
kept getting viral
goes-
tweets, her community kept growing, she was making more money, and her viewership was doing better than ever. She had reached over 100,000 followers, something very impressive, especially for a VTuber, and by this point, we could easily say that she was
100,000
becoming
followers, damn.
very dangerous, because in VTubing, there are so many desperate people trying to make a name for themselves that they'll see what works and try to copy it. And since things were going so well with Elfin, since she was totally
Oh,
invincible to
yeah,
any
that means people are
criticism
gonna
or
copy her.
controversy,
Oh,
someone ended up
shit.
noticing how well she was doing and tried to copy her, even though
Ah,
they had way
yeah,
more
it's correct.
followers and way more influence. Her and Elfin would end up becoming friends, and then eventually enemies.
Ooh,
Riri Gaki is a French rat VTuber who used to stream exclusively
A
in
rat
French.
VTuber,
Around
okay.
2024, she would start streaming more in English, and at some point, one clip from her stream would go mega viral. It went so viral that there's actually a good chance you saw this already. Watch.
says their name. So here is broccoli with fucking dumb. Look. No brain cell.
It is just
No
a
brain, nothing. After
It
we have
is
here
just a
Ruby,
rat.
who is one of my cutest rats too. Look, she's a Rex girl. She got curly hair. She's really cute. It's Bean. Bean is my only boy, but he
Her
don't
rats are
have
kind
the
of cute. I'm gonna be honest.
honest.
All right, so you get the point. French girl talking about her rats, very cute, very adorable. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it would go mega viral. 384,000
I can see why it
likes
would get
on
viral.
Instagram. And guys, when it came to Twitter, 12.7 million views, 134,000 likes. It was practically on
Damn,
everyone's feed,
12.7
and everyone was
million
talking about it.
views
If you
on
told someone,
Twitter.
hey, did you see the French
That is a
rat girl?"
lot.
They'd say, yes, I saw it on my feed. It went mega viral. I'm not
That is a
understating
lot.
this. She would then reply to this saying, "Hi, I'm Riri, a rat girl VTuber from France. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord if you want, link in bio, but be warned, I'm the most hated VTuber of all France." And
France.
guys, she was not kidding. When the French community saw her going viral, they were livid. They saw how viral she was going with the English-speaking community, and they did their best to show them who she truly was.
Oh,
This
shit.
person, for example, would say, maybe because you're a lolicon and you think Hitler is cool and you're overly annoying, you force your voice to sound like a kid, your response to saying the N-word is I
Oh,
hate everyone
shit.
equally. Look at yourself stuttering in your own ass tweet. Okay, so very brief lore dump on this bitch
My
because there's
God.
no information in English on her. She used to be known as Riri Meow, and her whole content revolved around porn. Still does, but it was worse then. She was retweeting lolliporn and had a Discord server with tons of minors, etc.
What?
etc. They'd also link some edgy tweets she made in the past, like top 5 reasons racism is bad, and then the next picture is thanks for watching, so implying that racism isn't bad. Here's the deal though.
What
Riri's
the
defense on
fuck?
Twitter would be, guys, French people doxed me. They sent police
Are
at
y'all
my house.
seeing
Yes,
this?
They swatted me. And they harassed me at IRL
That is
conventions.
cooked, bro.
All for this, for my edgy jokes, for being a
getting
lolly.
goosebumps,
All of a
like,
sudden,
it's that
French
bad.
people looked evil. And it doesn't take much to convince someone that French people are evil, okay? The French would argue, well, look, there's these videos on YouTube that expose her. Go watch those things instead. Okay, cool. Here's a video titled The Worst French Streamer, Riri Gaki, with over 448,000 views. Oh, hey, here's another one saying The Worst French Streamer, Riri Meow, with over 245,000 views. I watched both of them in full, in the native language of French, and I can tell you right now, this is what they said in a nutshell. Number 1, she's edgy and she made Nazi jokes, okay? And number 2, she's a lolly. In fact, most of these 2 videos were criticizing her for being a lolly, that she was playing this childlike character, how she was speaking with a childlike voice, and how she was overall just cringe. But here's the deal. For the English-speaking community, this only proved one thing. French people, when it came to VTubing, were completely and utterly out of their depth. VTubing originated from Japan, and this whole lolicon culture originated from there too. For people who actually watched VTubers, it was totally normal. It doesn't matter if you think lolicons are weird, right? I mean, I think it's a very reasonable take to think that. But when your thumbnail is Riri Gaki
Yeah,
with the
very
word
reasonable.
pedophile on top of it, you start losing a lot of people.
Hold on,
from
what
because-
now?
If you think lolicon.
Ba't ayaw kang magbasa-basa doon sa ano mo? Alam mo na yan.
Nakaka-stress.
Ano yung nakaka-stress?
Parang fino-force niyo ako magbasa.
Ano ba yun?
Huwag niyo kasi fino-force.
Ba't ano yan sa artist na?
Oo, alam ko.
Laro ka ng laro dyan.
Sa di mo naglalaro ako.
Sana binasa ko ng binasa para madiretso yung binabasa mo.
Madidiretso ko talaga yun. Hindi lang kayo naniniwala.
Ay.
Hindi, yung sinasabi ko, madidiretso ko yun. Yung ay na yun, pang practice lang talaga. Hindi kayo naniniwala sa akin. Talagang madidiretso ko yun. Speech lang yun eh. Wag nyo kasi, wag nyo kasi yung pino-perfect. Mas lalong masistress ako pag magsasalita ako. Dahil parang, imagine nyo, nanonood kayo, pag siya nagkamali ako, di madidisappoint kayo. Ayoko nga yun mangyari. Kaya wag nyo na ako sinestress. Hindi nyo ako minomotivate.
lolicons are weird, right? I mean, I think it's a very reasonable take to think that.
One
But when your
concurrent
thumbnail
viewer,
is
so-
Ririgaki with the word
Someone's
pedophile
watching.
on top of it, you start losing
Oh.
a lot of people.
Hello,
from your
Yumi
side.
Cutie official.
As time passed by, French people were seen as more and more unreasonable. This is not
Oh my
worth
God.
swatting over. This is not worth doxing over.
Leak
You'd see pictures
drawings,
like this of a French
on God.
person saying lolicon equals pedophile with
Can I leak
Ririgaki
my
quote
drawings?
tweeting saying,
I'm trying to see
"Don't
my chat
cry,
here, but like
I'm
it's
just
not
a
working
drawing."
for some
The
reason.
typical drama
Let me
you'd
like,
find
let
in
me turn off
English-speaking
my video real
communities
quick,
too,
bro.
and
Hold on.
typically VTuber watchers would always defend someone
Where's
like
the video? Let me turn this off. Peak drawings. Thank you. I'm like doing some studies right now, low key. I'm not even doing like anything significant right now. You're gonna be like the first person I've ever interacted, bro. I remember you as well. I'll remember you after like a billion streams or something. I don't know. It's my first time streaming. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like drawing while listening to like a document, and then just like saying my and just saying stuff. I don't really have plans or anything like that. I'm just like going all in. Yeah, it's my first time like streaming. I thought one day I'd want to like at least interact with like my chat, you know, just talk about like random bullshit, or teach people actually. Right now, I'm not really in any state to teach. I feel like, cause like I don't think I can even explain what I'm doing in a more proper way. But low-key in the future, I'm planning on like low-key teaching my ways. Especially character designing, because like I love character designing a lot. Character designing is my favorite thing to do in the world. And I don't really see people like talking about like sci-fi character designs that much. So I'm gonna try and learn a lot about it and then teach low-key. Like give like some tips and stuff. Cause I don't see people do that. All I'm doing is just like studying most of the time, but yeah. Hopefully I'll learn a lot and then I can teach. That'll be cool. It'll be cool, guys. It'll be very cool if I can teach. Why can I not see my chat? Anyways, I gotta go. It was cool interacting with you. Yeah, you too, man. I hope you have a great day. I'll remember you, bro. I'll remember you. Thank you for tuning in my stream, man. Goodbye, man. Take care. That's a cool guy. It's been a while since I like what? Actually, I forgot what to say. Never mind. I was about to say something, but I forgot. Few concurrent viewers. Who's top, bro? Who's the other one? There's 3 people watching my stream. I don't know who's. I don't know who's even watching my stream at all. I don't know why my chat is kind of broken. I'm not really sure. I'm like looking through my YouTube instead. There's only one now. Yeah, they just left though. Okay. Why is my thingy broken? It's not like it's working at all. Is it working? I can't tell if my stuff is working. Yeah, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna continue
Weird.
watching
So
this
they
video.
were totally out of their depth here. They'd keep trying to prove that she was problematic, showing her using GIFs saying "settle down" N-word hard R, and also showcasing how she had a role on her Discord called Rotten Waffen, a play on words on the Waffen SS, otherwise known as the Waffen Schutzstaffel, a division in the German army during World War II. Their efforts again proved ineffective, and the final straw would be when they would show this image of Riri when she was streaming with Facecam, apparently doing the, German salute from World War II.
shoot.
Well, you even had Asmongold reacting to it, and he concluded, as
that's
well
crazy.
as others, that she was simply adjusting her webcam. Guys, you're trying way too hard to make her look bad. Come on. This was seen as so crazy in the English-speaking community that even Elfin went out of her way to defend her as she was being cancelled by French people. By this point, Riri Gaki was followed directly by Asmongold on Twitter, and she had the entire English-speaking community backing her up. She was treated horribly by the French community, but now she got given a second chance straight from the heavens. However, here's the problem. I don't know if it was the language barrier or just the fact that she's probably mentally ill, but Riri Gaki completely misunderstood what the second chance meant. She thought that she now could finally get away with anything. She could say anything, do anything, and she'd have a community here to back her up always. When in reality, this wasn't the case at all. What actually happened was that she got a second chance, got a new community, and they were hoping that French people were exaggerating. They were hoping that she was going to genuinely redeem herself. And as you might have guessed, this could not have been further from the truth. Shortly after getting this incredible second chance, she would increase the racist and edgy rhetoric by 1000%, all while adding that to a cancerous cocktail of politics. Some guy would say, French quote-unquote people, the fuck is wrong with your country, Jesus? To which Riri Gaki would say, immigrant and African. Here's another tweet with a lot of views and a lot of likes. Saw a Jew for the first time in my life yesterday. I always thought they were all extinct. Here's her comparing Nazis to trans people. I mean,
What?
with the only difference being the fact that one has impressive taste in clothing and the other one being promoted by the US government. She'd have a tweet saying, can I be called a white rat supremacist? I love white rat. And when Kanye West
Holy
would say, I'm a,
shit.
you know what? She would quote tweet this with an image of an anime girl raising her hand. So as I said, she completely misunderstood the very simple thing she had to do. Just
I'm
keep
doing it
talking
wrong.
about your
It's like
rats,
this.
woman. Just keep being cute. But no, she had over 130,000 followers at this point, and she was taking a page right out of Elfin Psyop's playbook. Probably the worst thing you can do. But hey, it seemed like they were getting along very nicely. Riri Gaki would say, can you teach me how to be cute, please? And Elfin would reply with, but you're already so kawaii desu. It seemed like the
Kawaii
100,000
desu.
castrated men who followed Elfin just had
Stupid
another girl
baka.
failure join the mix.
Hell no.
And they were getting along. Not only did they increase their odds of maybe fixing another woman and marrying her too, but now maybe they could look forward to them collabing together, right? Oh my god, isn't that awesome? Well, I'm sure it would have been. But then some people decided to dig into Riri Gaki's past when she used to be Riri Meow and produced adult content. Now look, let's get one thing straight. Riri never produced any explicit content. It was mostly centered around thighs and feet. And while yes, this was enough for people to call her a whore and all sorts of things, this is simply who she used to be. And for the most part, I mean, people loved it. Oh my god, a girl failure and making stuff like this? It's like Elfin posting her tummy. What else do you want? But as these castrated guys were looking through her different images, they noticed something interesting, particularly in one image set of 3 images. You see, she'd have a photo set where she wore non-matching thigh highs. Everything looked normal, right?
Okay.
On this picture, on the other picture, until you got
Let's see this one.
to the third picture, in
third
which we
picture?
can very
Oh,
clearly
shit.
see
That's
a
a
black guy's hand
Oh.
grabbing
Oh
her
shit.
left
That's a
thigh.
dude,
Now,
bro.
look, normally
That's
this
a
wouldn't be an
dude on the
issue. I would
pic.
hope that it's never an issue. But saying that Riri Gaki would tweet out every other day how France and Paris is getting ruined by immigrants and more specifically Africans, her new, let's say, community wasn't too happy about this. In fact, they were
Yeah.
furious. It seemed like no matter how much
Of
Riri
course,
Gaki
bro.
disliked
Of
African
course.
immigrants,
This
she
is
still
this is
couldn't
literally
resist
what
the
sets
BBC.
everything like.
I mean, this is just so
you
funny
know,
to me. It was treated
this is
like
what
this
sets
leap,
everything
this
up.
thing
It's the
that no one could have
fucking
ever
dude in
predicted.
the
When in
image,
reality,
bro.
on her own wiki page, you can see that in 2023, she made some guy called Euro, who happened to be a VTuber, her boyfriend. And when you checked out his model, his model was black. But no, it was a
What?
betrayal. How dare she?
How
And
dare she? She's not
suffered the wrath
racist?
of her own community. She had pretty much stabbed herself with a knife she forged herself. It was official. She was a grifter. Someone who didn't believe in anything she was saying and was only doing it purely for her own benefit. Someone would say, if you can't see the grift in tweeting racist shit, then race mixing all while hating immigrants, then I don't know what to tell you. To which she would say, Bro thinks all French people are all white like snow, lol, we have an island. Actually, the French have multiple islands, like Corsica, Guadeloupe, République, but this didn't matter at all in the grand scheme of things. As she was getting attacked pretty much daily at this point with her own community turning against her, she would try to quell the flames by becoming even more edgy somehow and saying, next cosplay I'm doing, Lolly Hitler. This would prove to be nothing more than a pathetic attempt at recovering the community that was turning on her, because very shortly afterwards, she would get suspended from Twitter by mass reporters who just so happened to be people who were pissed that she was dating a black guy. And the cherry on top would be her also getting suspended.
That's all it took,
from
guys.
Twitch.
That's all it took.
In her own Discord, she'd
Just
say, hi,
saying.
I got banned from
That's all it
Twitter and
took,
Twitch
man.
again because of a big campaign of harassment and cancel culture. I did a tweet on my alt account if you want to RT, I don't know what. I'm tired. I really hope to die. Here we go with the baiting again. I don't know. I don't want to let my haters win, but I'm really too tired. 4 years of all this is too much. You can follow my new account if you want, linking her Clips account and saying, I don't know if I'll be back one day. I'm really tired. She would then post a statement on that account saying, if you didn't see it, my main account was mass reported from Twitter haters because some of them believe that I'm a Nazi and the others are mad that I'm not racist. I love it. Seeing people this mad and obsessed by a little rat girl proves to me that I'm really the only person here. You are part of the problem if you think that everybody I don't like is Hitler. Being racist is good, or VTuber shouldn't have a boyfriend. I'm going to take a little break from Twitter while waiting for my appeal to be accepted. Thank you all for the support. I love you a lot. I have an incredible community and lots of kind people who support me. I'm never going to kneel down in front of horrible humans, and I'm never going to let them cancel me. Cancel culture is dead and exists only for insecure people. I'm still going to stream on Twitch and YouTube and be active on Instagram and Discord. Your support means the world to me. Keep making extremist people pissed off and laugh at them. We are stronger than hate. And remember, vive la résistance. Rats lives matter and are stronger than evil humans.
I got something down.
So look, in the end, this was a desperate attempt at trying to recoup a community that hated her guts at this point. After getting that incredible second chance with a mega viral clip, she spent all that time nurturing a racist community, people who disliked immigrants and minorities, and it turned out she had a black boyfriend. Her initial haters felt vindicated and her own community now turned on her. You couldn't really feel sorry for her, right? But throughout all this, her friend, Elfin, who was also another girl failure like her, and who had initially defended her when the French people were attacking her, what did she have to say by now? Would she show up for her? Defend
Hold
her,
on, I
help
want to
her
see
like
this
a
one.
real friend would? Nope. She would also turn on her because the girl failures would have a falling out that would make
Holy
its way
shit.
to the public battlefield. So as I said before, Elfin was someone who had defended Riri initially when she was getting the backlash after going mega viral. They would have some positive interactions here and there, but shortly after Average Bird Enjoyer's document would drop on Elfin, Riri Gaki would say, "Is this Gunpei 2.0? Someone would reply saying, please rat girl, you're my last hope for a based petite girl failure indie VTuber, don't e-date fans, unless it's me LMAO, god I can puke in my fucking mouth. To which she would say, I'm not gonna e-date a fan, I have a boyfriend and I'm just a pet rat for you.
This
was
has to be
essentially
like a
Riri
joke,
Gaki trying
right?
to
That can't be
capitalize
like
on
an
the fact
actual
that Elfin
guy.
was potentially
Like,
going to
there's
lose
no
her
way this
career
person
because of this
exists.
document. She was taking
has
them
to
all
be a
high
joke,
ground,
yeah.
trying to steal any viewers she can from Elfin because she was trying to become her. This is when Elfin would start to subtweet her, not calling her directly just yet, saying the amount of e-holes rebranding to be girl failures, please bro, you do porn. You sell literal porn of yourself. Just go be some slutty cat girl or something. This is of course referring to Riri Gaki, how in the past she had a fansly and how now she rebranded as being a girl failure. When it came to her parasocial Discord though, she was way more straightforward. Someone would say Riri is nice though, to which she would reply, I can't say this in good conscience when she blatantly called me Gunpei when my controversy happened. I can't forget that shit, lol. How dare she call me Gunpei when I'm way worse than her? Like, how dare she when I'm really worse than her in every way? The main confrontation between these two girl failures would occur
Holy
when
girl
Elfin
failure
would
versus
post this
girl
tweet,
failure-
with her
failure.
character saying, hey guys, someone saying femcel, to which her character would say, not what I'm called. Shortly afterwards, Riri Gaki would also use that same exact meme format, saying, hey guys, with someone saying,
I might end
not
streams
me,
too
to which
soon,
Riri would
actually.
say,
I don't know.
not what I'm called.
Maybe like
Elfin
in
at this
a-
point
maybe
would
in
be
an hour or
furious.
something.
How
I don't
dare
know.
she copy
That depends
me?
on
So
what
she would quote
I'm
tweet
gonna
this
do.
and say, you guys are all
Because I actually
over her.
have some
How can
things
she
to
be a
do.
Nazi
Like,
when she
I
has a
need to,
black
like,
boyfriend?
lock in on my
You all
speech.
need to do
Because high school is
research.
already ending
This
for
was
me,
Elfin
like, in a
declaring
few days.
war. She
So I
saw
need
that
to,
her
you
community
know,
was
get
turning
myself
on her because she
prepared
had a
into
black
reading.
boyfriend.
I'll
So
get my
she was also
mom
looking
and
to
my grandma
capitalize.
to, like,
However,
guide me, I
Elfin was
guess,
about to fight a war
like, tell me
on
where
two
I'm
fronts.
wrong and,
She
like,
was
stuff
going
like
up
that.
against Riri Gaki.
I
while
need
at the
to,
same
like, prepare my
time
speech bro.
having a
Low-
demon
low-key,
from her
like, I
past
need
catch
to-
up to her. 4chan.
I mean, I already have,
You
like, a
see,
speech
she was
prepared.
an
I just need to
active
prepare
4chan
myself
user
mentally,
ever
right?
since
Yeah.
she was a young
I don't think I'm, like,
kid.
ready yet,
Yes, I know.
so
What a terrible fate. And
I'm gonna
4chan
have
would
to
catch on to
go
her.
and practice
They'd understand exactly who
my
she used to be
pronunciations of
and would
words
start
and stuff,
revealing
though.
some details about her real identity. The fact that she is a
lock
Pakistani
into my
who's
speech
studying
now.
in the UK. Now look, this was a very big deal, okay? Elfin Psyop's entire personality was centered around appealing to the cringe white supremacist who never leaves his home. She would also heavily imply, as you
Looks
saw
nice,
in her
huh?
belly pics that
Looks
she
like a-
shared
that's
online,
like a good
she
sketch,
seemed
bro.
white, and that's
Looking like a
exactly
good
what she was
sketch, yeah.
selling to her
Not
audience. The
glazing
fact that she's
myself or
white
anything.
and
I'm
even
just saying, you know, so
Slavic.
also looking like
At
a
some
good
point she would say,
sketch right
I say
now.
niet a lot, which means no, and people ask me if I'm Slavic on stream. I'm not, I'm just a huge Russia boo. So she posted pictures of her belly and she seemed white. She also was really into Russian culture, I guess, and Russian language. So people assumed she was maybe Eastern European. In fact, her accent sounded pretty American. Some people
Russia
would think
boo.
she's
I have
American
a
and she
friend
would
who's,
never
like,
really
who
correct
also
them. So
streams
seeing
and
that
is
she
also
despised
Russian.
immigrants and any minorities,
He's
for
my
that
favorite
matter,
guy, bro.
her being
Low-key,
Pakistani
like,
would be
I wish I could
a
talk to him
death
more, bro.
sentence. But this
That'd be
rumor
cool.
wasn't new. It was
I've
being
seen him
shared on
stream-
4chan
stream
as
ever
early as
since, I'm gonna be honest.
mid-2024. It would start to really catch up to her and irritate her in 2025, though, specifically during the summer. This is when, for the first time, she would start being confronted live on stream by chatters who were asking her, "Are you really Pakistani?" And she would get very triggered at that. Watch.
Pretending to be white? I don't think I need to pretend. I think I am.
Here's another clip.
Takis aren't white. You are so retarded, dude. That's actually insane. Do you realize how ethnicities work? Do you realize how ethnicities work? Or maybe you don't. Genuine question. Aren't you a Paki living in the UK? Who are you to complain? Did you get that from 4chan?
So here we are. She was starting to realize where these people were getting their information from. Wait, did you get this from 4chan? The website that she kept flexing that she had used ever since she was 13? Interesting. By early 2025, many pictures of Elfin's face would somehow find themselves on the internet. So she'd tweet out in May 2025, I've been face doxed and harassed so much now, so here, this is me. Yup, now what? LMFAO, it don't even matter, man, no more. Now this image is actually very important. It would of course get deleted later. She would draw some clown makeup on her face in Microsoft Paint, right? I can tell you right now, this clown nose is doing a lot of heavy lifting because it would have very easily exposed her ethnicity. Additionally, it doesn't take a genius to understand that this image is blown the fuck out. Look at that hand. It is blinding. Almost as if she completely upped the levels in Photoshop in an effort
Bro, the
to
fucking contrast,
appear
bro.
light.
The light
Something was
is
really cracking
blinding.
Elfin starting summer 2025.
Holy
okay?
bright,
This is when she
man.
would up the edginess
That
to
is
yet
so
a
bright,
new
gang.
level. And so whenever someone criticized her or called her a Pakistani or said that they had proof, she would just call them a Jew. And it would work because her community hated Jews. This would work almost every single time. They'd eat it up. They would love it. And she would get away with it. However, as her rivalry with Ririgaki would
think
start
next time I
really
stream, I need to
heating
close
up,
the door.
Ririgaki would say
It's like,
this. I love how
I
she was
swear.
trying to cancel me saying I was
You-
dating an
you-
immigrant,
I think
black
I don't know if y'all can
Indian
hear it, but
Arabic
like
boy,
it's just my
while
family in the
pretending
background, bro.
to be white.
Like, oh my god.
To which
So,
Elfin
like,
would say, "Why are you so
just
obsessed with
background
me,
noise at
man?"
this point,
Now
so-
it's getting serious.
Not
Look,
sure- I'm not sure if
Ririgaki,
you
as
guys
much as
can
she was
hear it,
hated
though.
for dating a black guy, she still held
Okay, I was watching my
influence
stream
in the
anyways.
whole
I don't know what
girl
I'm talking
failure
about.
aesthetic club.
Oh,
She
wait,
had
he's
many
wearing a cloak?
followers
I
in
thought he was
common
wearing,
with
like, some
Elfin,
type of-
this
oh, wait, it's, like,
100,000
similar to,
bundle of
like, the
castrated
character
men. And so
design.
her saying what many have been saying already was a
okay.
genuine
Fair.
threat. This drama started really heating up around November 2025, to which Ririgaki would say, "Please stop thinking of me as a girl failure, guys. It's exhausting. I did learn to take care of me. I go outside a lot now. I have a lot of passion and love for nature and cool subjects like aircraft or insects. I really like myself and take care of me. I did reduce my alcohol drinking to 0. I'm fucking proud to be alive and my depression is going away. Please understand that and stop seeing me as a 4chan weirdo or a girl who is mentally ill and drama post / talk about political toxic subject, obsessed with skin color or not jokes. It makes me really sad. I'm getting better and becoming a cool person now that my life is comfy. Yes, I like edgy humor and I don't care about humans or minorities, but I'm a responsible adult, not a failure or anything else. I'm just Riri." Someone would reply with, "That's literally the audience you wanted and even commissioned yourself as a Nazi or girl failure."
Exactly, bro.
Did Elfin Griff not work? To
Didn't
which
bro,
Riri would
like,
say,
do
"Yeah,
some
Nazi
commissions and
uniform
shit?"
are really pretty." It's like talking to a wall. This tweet was definitely very interesting and a bit out of touch. I mean, what have you been doing the past year? She's practically begging everyone to stop thinking of her as a girl failure when she only had herself to blame. She was the one who was intentionally acting that way. Elfin would quote tweet that tweet and say, "I'm so fucking
With
confused
great
about this woman, I
power
swear." Wasn't
comes
OnlyFans
with
Catco
great
VTuber.
responsibility.
Starts following me, completely
Remember the
changes
saying,
design to look
guys.
like mine.
Always remember
Suddenly
that.
became
And
an
it's very
alcoholic,
relevant,
quote
bro.
unquote. Starts copying my
Especially
tweets one to one.
for
This is not an
streamers,
exaggeration,
like,
by the way. Okay, the tweets would be
you have
very,
a
very
voice
similar.
that can
Before discovering
influence,
Elfin, Riri literally had
like,
no idea
an
what
entire
goon meant.
crowd.
And there
That's
she was all
power
of a
right
sudden
there.
every
You
couple
gotta
of
be
days
responsible
tweeting,
for that,
"Yeah, I
man.
need to goon. I need to go goon. I goon too much." This was
That's what
literally
happens,
Elfin's entire
man.
personality, and there she was
You're to be
emulating it
blamed
perfectly.
for.
Elfin would continue. I DM her about it, say I'm uncomfortable about it. She says, "Oh my god, sorry, you're my biggest inspiration." We make amends and move on. I support her when she gets into a big drama. When I get into drama, calls me Gunpei 2.0 instead of DMing me and asking me what's up. So-called friend, am I right? I get pissed at this and stop talking to her. Copies me further. Almost all my jokes, all my edgy humor. Oh my god, guys, I'm so gross and gooner and girl failure and edgy, and posts not shit constantly. Where did all this suddenly come from, bro? Few months pass. Now she says, "Oh my god, I'm healthy. I don't drink anymore, and I go outside. I'm not a naughty guys." Basically, we should forget the past few months happened entirely. Literally attacks me out of nowhere, saying I accused her for having a black boyfriend. I don't care about your boyfriend's race, man. I don't care about you, dude. Can you leave me alone and maybe try to be more creative? You don't get pity points because people attack you online. You literally did it to yourself. I'm edgy and I know people will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one. You started being like this after following me. Please learn to be yourself and stop attacking people for no reason. Thanks.
W Lord.
So look,
W
Elfin was
Lord.
definitely making some good points here. Yes, it is true. Riri definitely started acting like her after following her. That's a fact. It seemed like Ririgaki's intent from the get-go was stealing as many viewers as she could from her, and when she saw that Elfin was potentially going to lose her career, she didn't try to defend her. She tried to make her move and call her Gunpei 2.0. However, it's not like Elfin wasn't doing the exact same thing. Look at this sentence near the end. "I'm edgy and I know people will dislike me for it. I've been like this since day one." Again, this whole idea that, guys, I'm real. I'm authentic. In fact, Elfin would go as far as saying on her stream that Ririgaki was a very rare example of a true grifter. In her opinion, the word is overused. Not everyone's a grifter, but Riri was. This was her implying, of course, that she was a real girl failure. She was actually proudly alcoholic. Everything about her was totally authentic. And hey, to be fair, it worked. After Elfin would make her post about Riri, someone would confront Riri asking her, "Yo, what's up? Like, what happened with Elfin?" Here's what she'd say in her Discord. "She tried a lot in the past to get me canceled on Twitter and can't stop talking about how I stole her identity because I have a similar humor / black hair / loves alcohol / depressed." Dude, imagine making that your entire personality and being mad that someone stole it. Dude,
Imagine,
who are
bro.
these people? Anyway, she would continue, "Cannot stand her. I did try to be her friend, but
Who
cannot
is
stand girls sending news to
this?
6 persons at the same time while trying to proclaim that she doesn't have a boyfriend, is white, and is not a whore all the time because she doesn't want to lose her community. She is not honest, and she is just another gimmick like she says." Now, to be fair, even Riri had made good points here, right? But it's like, both of these people are so unlikable, you don't really care about taking sides, do you? However, even with all that being said, the next day, Riri would make yet another post on her Twitter. Her alt account, of course, because her main one got permanently suspended. Her appeal failed. She'd say, "I would like to apologize for all the people following me because I was looking and acting like a based, edgy girl failure. I know the drastic change of me getting mentally better and stopping to act like a loser can be deceiving for a lot of you, and I understand if you stop following me, but I cannot keep going like that. Sorry for looking fake. I never lied about my depression or my daily difficulty like my alcohol consummation." I don't think she even bothered translating this, bro. Consommation, that's literally a French word, but yeah, her alcohol consumption. Secondly, I would like to apologize to @Elfin Psyop. I have her blocked because I don't want toxicity in my feed and don't appreciate her as a person, but I feel like it's still important to talk about that. I found Elfin's content when I was at my lowest after all the harassment from the French community, and instead of being a better person or learning to love myself, I ended up stealing and copying some of her gimmick, like she called it. This is not correct and not what a content creator should do. I did tweet like her and used to do the same content on Twitter as her to be accepted and seen by people having cool humor, things that do not exist in France, but I'm not proud of that, and I would like to have learned sooner that I should just be myself instead of wanting some attention on the internet while copying somebody's gimmick. I'm sorry, Elfin, for all of that, and for not talking gently about you publicly after having your help. I hope one day you have the chance to get better and go away from all the toxicity that Twitter and other social media are spreading. I understand that you see me as a LARPer or a grifter, but my political beliefs were never
Holy
fake.
LARPing.
I live in a dangerous country because of immigration and multiple other things. I just ended up basing my content only on that and edgy jokes to pander to these types of people when I'm in fact just a normal autistic woman who just want to share her hobbies. I'm not gonna lie, but I see myself as a LARPer. I also want to talk to you about the black boyfriend controversy. I know a lot of my past fans were following me because of all this LARPing. I understand your sadness when you learn about the VTuber that you considered as based having what you thought
actually
was a
interested. I'm
black
actually invested in this.
immigrant boyfriend. I don't like saying that, but dating an immigrant or a black male is not something I would be able to do. I did date for 2 years in the past a brown/tan French male. This always was public since I was always streaming with him. Guys, don't worry, he wasn't black, he was just brown. Like, dude.
What?
After all this LARPing, I think this is normal and my own fault that I ended up in a situation where I get harassed by my old fan base. Sadly, you were just following me for the based girl failure thing and not even to look after my content or stream since you did not know about my ex-boyfriend. This makes me really sad that all this love was fake, but this is again my own fault for acting like that. I'm deeply thankful to all the rat bros believing in me and understanding my word. You are the reason why today I can be this better person. Thanks to all the people who still love me and not just my toxic past. I love you. So first off, I just want to point out how she was talking about this like it happened in the past. Bro, this literally happened like 2 months ago. You know, like
Oh, God.
there was barely any time between the old account and the new account. But hey, you know what? A surprising amount of self-awareness in this post. She pretty much
Yeah.
admitted she was a LARPer. That's because she was. She was a LARPer and she was
Actually,
a
like,
grifter. Pretty much the same
straight
thing.
up
But of course,
said
this post wouldn't even
everything.
get half the engagement she used to get when she would say, BRB,
Every
going to my
single
room to
issue that she
goon."
has.
But hey, it seems like some people stuck around for the rats and whatever. Most people who followed her for being a girl failure already left anyway when they found out she had a black boyfriend. Elfin would yet again make another post after this one, this time saying, I don't own the girl failure aesthetic, okay? It didn't matter to me as much when Riri was outright copying my tweets, word for word, just twisted to look more French. That made me feel weird. Any joke I made or content idea was being copied. I felt like I couldn't do anything original anymore, and I care about novelty more than anything. Yes, we know that, Elfin. You're not like the other girls, right? To be fair, a lot of people here thinking we used to be friends aren't exactly
I'm not
wrong.
like
I
other
genuinely
girls,
thought
huh?
we made up and were good friends until I found out how she talks about me behind my back. I genuinely tried, man. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm super mean usually, and she was kind back and said I was her biggest inspiration. I've dealt with mean girls all of my high school, man. I've had many bullies and fake friends. To me, this greatly resembled the fake friend trope. So I don't like this defamation if Elfin is so toxic. I only copied her because I'm autistic and just want to make content. I'm sorry if you go through stuff, but you're an adult actively making choices every day. You had the choice to just be friendly with me. She would then congratulate Riri on being less depressed and getting rid of alcohol and end this by saying, but please, if you truly were someone who understood what it's like to be someone who had a problem with those things, stop shitting on me for being a girl failure alcoholic now that you're better. Trust me, I don't choose to feel depressed all the time. So again, you know, I'm a victim, guys. I've been bullied all my life. You know, I'm a girl failure. I'm a real girl failure, okay? Stop pretending that you are real. Trust me, I don't choose to feel depressed all the time, okay? I'm authentic. But my favorite part is when she says, I'm sorry if you go through stuff, but you're an adult actively making choices every day. Because that's literally what people were telling Elfin when she got exposed as having been gooning to 6 guys at the same time. Look, overall, this was nothing more than 2 very disliked monkeys fighting. But if we step back and look at the bigger picture, this situation would go from a clown show to something very alarming. As you saw, Elfin was practically invincible. Riri took heavy inspiration from her seeing how much success she was finding as being a girl failure, and even though she had more followers and had way more virality, she still proceeded to copy her directly. Elfin was starting to become not just a danger to herself or to her fans, but to everyone in the VTubing community as a whole. Being a girl failure should never be something that's encouraged. It's not a good thing. It's not meant to be a good thing. And yet her success was encouraging others to follow her lead. I mean, why wouldn't they? If saying racist slurs wasn't going to get her canceled, if having a secret boyfriend wasn't going to get her canceled, if having 6 different guys you're gooning to at the same time wasn't going to get her canceled, then the $1 million question was, what will? Well, what would end up canceling Elfin Sayab, the person who
boyfriend.
had pretty much nurtured 100,000 castrated men who identified as white supremacists, would be the day that she was finally exposed as a Pakistani. So, as I had already mentioned, Elfin's tweets would start to take a turn during the summer of 2025. Her edginess wouldn't just be for the sake of being edgy anymore. She would take on a sort of political rhetoric that you would maybe find during a Nick Fuentes stream. Look at this tweet, for example. Don't understand how you can live in this modern world and see all the bad shit happening and not immediately connect the dots and see that it's Jewish influence. So now, the Jews were responsible for everything. How about this tweet made a little while later saying, I love astronomy so much and I love stargazing, but I can't because there's too many immigrants in the UK and it scares me to go outside alone. As far as anyone was concerned, she wasn't even British. She wasn't from the UK, right? But there she was taking a political stance for a country that she doesn't even belong to. This tweet in particular will become way funnier later, you'll get why. But it wasn't just political rhetoric that was taking hold of her edginess. It was her edginess itself that was taking a whole other level. For example, with her posting this image of her model saying, "R-word my model," then replying, "Sorry guys, I meant R-word," with an asterisk. The joke here is that she wasn't correcting herself, she actually meant it. She'd also make a conscious effort to play into the jokes and controversies that were made about her. Look at this tweet, for example. "Groomer this, groomer that, come here, let me groom you." This was in reference to the Google Doc that was dropped about her, in which 6 men that were in their 20s said that she groomed them. At some point, she'd post a selfie that would get a lot of likes, of course, with her nose and mouth blurred because it would show her ethnicity, and had the caption, "Elfin Brownop." This was her playing into the joke that some people were starting to call her Pakistani. So look, by now, it might be obvious what she's trying to do. She was being heavily criticized when it came to her actions by the wider VTuber community, and yet, her own community also had criticisms relating to the fact that she might just be Pakistani. This was her attempting to play into the joke while also raising the bar for her edginess, hoping that it'll kind of insulate her from criticism. This desperate attempt of trying to move on from the fact that she might just be an immigrant and trying to move on from her controversies would result in some pretty embarrassing moments, like her public crash out during the summer of 2025, when she would begin by saying, "Not a big fan of Indians." Someone would reply with, "Do not do this, you don't have to right-wing grift." This is probably someone who found her character and liked the design or just liked the belly pic. This is when she'd completely and totally crash out. "Grift question mark?" Someone would say, "You're so brave and definitely not a pick-me who tries too hard to look based." To which she would say, "Uh-oh, the big pick-me word, I'm so scared, please don't use it. Funny, when I voice my unfiltered opinions, I'll get random retards saying, 'Oh my god, pick me, oh my god, grifter.' You realize when I say shit like that, I lose and filter more people rather than gain, right? I'd rather have people know what I think about shit than just follow me for cute tummy pics, expecting a wholesome person. Kek." Funny enough, my opinions have remained the same since I was 14 on major social issues. I think I'm pretty consistent with my mentality on things. It's so funny to me how she thought this was a flex. That same person, snot-nosed swagger, would call her out and say, "So you have the same opinions as a 14-year-old? Wow!" And then he'd get blocked. She couldn't handle it. She crashed out and she just couldn't handle it anymore. The crash outs and weird behavior wouldn't be constricted to just Twitter, though. It would also happen in her Discord. She'd start saying things that were definitely out of place. I mean, they were fairly random, right? For someone who was maybe Slavic or American, saying things like, "Northern Pakistan is entirely Aryan. No one seems to understand that." Pretty suspicious thing to say when you're not Pakistani. All of a sudden, this was very different from the rhetoric she was taking about immigrants and Pakistanis in general when it came to the UK. She used to tweet things like, "If leftists think some girl on the internet is a pedophile for posting petite girls that look like her on the internet, then why do they promote immigration that bring in Muslim, pedophile, and racists? Curious." This is really funny when you consider the fact that some of the biggest Muslim immigrants to the UK are Pakistani, right? You see where I'm going with this? All of a sudden, when the pressure was mounting on Elfin, and it seemed like it was inevitable that she was going to be revealed as Pakistani, she started shifting the blame from Muslims to the Jews, saying things like, "Oh, the reason why all the Muslims are coming to Europe was because Jews want to destroy society." She'd also suspiciously start saying things like this: "I'm not gonna lie, Muslims got one thing right, and it's that pigs are filthy animals. No nutritional value and so much fat relative to beef and chicken, not even enough protein. Pork sucks in general, bacon is good sometimes, but bacon in the UK is terrible." Oddly suspicious to say this. This isn't edgy or based. This sounds like someone who's guilty. And that's because she was. Look, eventually it was very hard to deny this. 4chan was after her ass, and they were revealing the fact that she used to be on 4chan when she was younger. There are threads dating back to as far as 2021 where they were referring to her as someone who was very attractive and was peak wife material. They'd be calling her their ideal crush, their ideal wife when she was a minor, mind you. And one of those people complimenting her would say, "Lives in Pakistan." Additionally, what didn't help was that her name was doxed. And it was painfully Arabic. Pakistan is a Muslim country that's heavily influenced by Muslim culture, so of course they have a lot of Arab names. At this point, it was simply undeniable no matter how much she wanted it to not be true. So around the end of December 2025, she would admit to her Discord, "Yes, I'm Pakistani, but I promise I'm only half Pakistani." People would start hating on her, and of course she'd do what she did best, suicide bait, saying, "Whatever dude, stop hating me because I'm a halfie, fuck, I'm gonna kill myself now." Someone would say, I miss when I thought Elf was white. The hand reveal ruined everything. Then she would say, Jesus, okay, leave then, asshole. She'd then say,
Damn.
guys, I'm only half Pakistani, okay? I'm half Slavic. I'm Ukrainian. Please, there's some white in me. But then she would realize a very important realization, saying, you guys hate me because I'm a halfie. I get it. Y'all don't even consider Slavs white either, so I'm double brown. I hate my life. Now you might be wondering, why is it that her community of white supremacists didn't consider Slavs white? Well, in these extremely
like
edgy
secondhand
internet
embarrassment,
circles,
low-key, bro.
they have a big problem
I
with the
cannot look
fact
at
that the
that.
Ukrainian president Zelensky is Jewish. They think he's some Jewish puppet and he's prolonging the war on purpose, right? That's their viewpoint. So to them, Ukrainians were Jewish. They were part of the problem. Someone would say, and your dad's Ukrainian, in parentheses, Jewish, to which you would say, he's not Jewish, in all caps. So now, she wasn't just seen as half Muslim, she was also seen as half Jewish, the two things that her community hated the most, and she made them that way. You have to understand, not everyone who found Elfin had that ideology. Some of them were totally innocent, found her through a belly picture, liked her, maybe fell in love with her because they're mentally ill, and then saw that she thought this way ideologically and started sharing those same opinions. And now they were being backstabbed, betrayed. How dare you be exactly what you've been hitting on for so long? Some people would start saying, hey, maybe you're not Pakistani, maybe you're just Indian, to which you would say, I'm too cute to be Indian, please guys. Like, how dare you call a Pakistani an
Okay,
Indian,
bro. That's
This
just
would all keep
fucked.
building up until Christmas Day, the 25th of December 2025, when Elfin, in an extremely drunken state, would post a tweet that's barely legible, saying, I'm drunk enough to come out. I'm Pak, mom's side, and Ukrainian, dad's side. I'm a halfie. LMFAO, weird combo, right? I'm not Muslim and I hate Muslims. I love Christmas. I'm more Slavic than anything because I grew up Slavic. Slava Ukraina, Pakistan Zindabad. So look, just like with Riri Gaki, right, with her black boyfriend, this normally should have never been a problem. If anything, this would have been something to celebrate. Like, oh, you come from very different cultures. Cool, that's awesome. Wow. The only person that made it a problem was her. And as you can see from the 186 replies, her community wasn't really too happy about this. The next step was her trying to appease her community. Look, she knew what they wanted. They wanted whatever what was in between her legs. So she would desperately tweet things out like, Aryan man, please colonize me. Aryan man, please colonize the girl failure, stinky bitch Aryan man. I mean, at this point, it was just pathetic. The only feelings most people had when seeing this was pity. Like, come on, dude, what are you doing? Then on the 29th of December, she would tweet this out all of a
Oh
sudden
my
saying,
God,
I hate being who
bro.
I am
This
and I
is
hate
so
being like
correct,
this. I can't do this anymore for a
This
bit.
is
I'm sorry. I don't know when I'll be
embarrassing,
back, but I'm fucking sorry. I'm like this. I hope you're all well and please don't miss someone like me. Goodbye for now. What would immediately follow after is her deactivating her Twitter account and disabling all invites to her Discord server. Now look, reactions were mixed to this, but as you might have guessed, the majority of the VTuber community was celebrating, okay? Hitler was dead. This stain on VTubers' reputations, as well as her insufferable community, were finally gone. We won. On the other end of these celebrations, though, were some very heartbroken men, saying things like, I hope Elfin Psyop comes back. Yeah, she's mentally ill and likes to provoke people, but she's not so bad that she deserves to have something terrible happen to her. Or this guy saying, I really hope Elfin Psyop is okay. The racism towards her because of who she is unacceptable. And I
Hey, that's what
genuinely hope she
happens when
didn't
you-
hurt herself. No one deserves to be
when your
treated like that.
entire content
It's
is
like, bro,
based off
we-
of fucking.
Are we talking about the same person here? That's
Controversy,
literally
bro.
what she did every single day. And to make matters worse, when she deactivated her account, this person would tweet this out, saying, another VTuber that I spent thousands of dollars making merch for just deactivated her socials without any warning whatsoever and isn't responding to my messages.
Holy
Yes, of course, this person was
parasocial,
referring
bro.
to Elfin Psyop, right? This post got a lot of attention and it showed how much of a wreck she really was. Look, overall, it wasn't just embarrassing to be Elfin at this point. It was also humiliating to be one of her fans. I mean, these guys were hopeless. They were like, yeah, I know she's half Indian, but look, she's half white. I know we're meant to hate Muslims and minorities, but please, just make an exception for her. I'll fix her, wife her up, and prolong the white race. Please, let's just make her an exception. Now, as pathetic as this sounds, it wasn't a surprise. No one was ever interested in her for her political takes or her grift. It was all about her belly and the fact that she was a woman who was promiscuous.
It was all
Politically
the belly,
speaking, though,
bro.
they gave themselves some hope that, hey, at least she's half white, but even that illusion was about to be shattered. That's because 4chan would go above and beyond, as they always do, and would find irrefutable proof that she's not half Pakistani, she is full Pakistani. 4chan would go through her previous usernames on Steam. And before
No.
using Elfin Psyop in 2021, she would be known as Absurd Comrade. Well, Would you look at that? There's an Osu account that was created back in September 2020 that had the same exact name, and also used the profile picture of a character that Elfen liked a lot, Megumin from Konosuba. It also had the flag of Pakistan on the profile. And this was a very big deal because this was region-based. Yes, it was based on your IP. This meant that as far back as 2020, Elfen was in Pakistan. She wasn't raised Slavic. She was raised in a country in which 99.99% of people are Muslim. And those Muslim immigrants going to the UK that she kept insulting every single day, well, she was literally one of them. I mean, seriously, the jokes just write themselves here. Like, how stupid is this? At this point, it was official. She was nothing more than a self-hating grifter. Many such cases, but not many
Holy
with this many
larper.
followers and that much of a community. But just as people thought that she was finally defeated, that she was gone forever, she would literally come back just a few days later. And while she was expecting a bunch of hugs and kisses, she
Nope.
instead got the final blow to her short but very interesting career. So look, it was at this point that I started working on this video, but then I saw that she had tweeted on January 4th saying, "Hey, what's up, retards? I'm back. I went to a museum. I did a bunch of different things." She'd even post a selfie and a tank, the flag of Pakistan. Her post would get thousands of likes. Her community was so happy she was back. They were celebrating and saying, "Oh my God, I was worried about you. Oh my God, thank you so much for coming back. I missed you." So I was like, oh, I guess we're going to pretend like nothing happened. Okay. She'd
Okay,
say, all the
buddy.
speculation about me leaving for weird reasons was all wrong, lol. I left because I had personal reasons. This is when I figured, okay, dude, whatever. Like, who cares? I'm just going to work on something else. And look, I want to make one thing clear. If Elfen continued as she always had operated and didn't change a single thing, then she could have very easily kept her career and her community. Again, they didn't care about her political ideology, okay? They just wanted a chance to get in a Discord call with her and have her goon. But what she would do 2 days later on January 6th, 2026, would be the dumbest thing I have ever seen anyone do on the internet ever, admitting to the distribution of child pornography.
Oh
She did this
shit!
tweet out of nowhere saying, "Guys, I have a little announcement to make. So this may not come as much of a shock to some of you,
Okay,
but
now
to
I'm
most of the
invested.
majority, I want to be truthful to all of you. When I first started VTubing, I was 17 years old. My hallmates living with me were older than me and would buy me all the alcohol. So I pretended to be a bit older online. I came to the UK to study a foundation year at 16, turning 17. They let you go early, especially if you have good grades. I'm 19 right now. The funniest part of all this is that I never told my age to anyone because I didn't want people to think it's weird someone underage is talking about stupid shit online. And the lie had gone for so long for me to tell the truth. But I'm a solid age now that I don't care. It's kind of why I suck at saying what age I learned what. Like, oh, I started going on 4chan when I was 14, but what I mean is like 11. I wanted to sound
Oh
older
my
somehow.
God.
I had to get a proper ID for 18 when I turned 18, and it was exhilarating buying my own
Dude,
beer.
you know the
Ha.
crazy part is that I am 18 right now, and seeing this is just fucked up, bro. In my like, this is crazy.
Now here's
Oh my
the
god.
bombshell. Also, just thought to put this out there because all the images that my haters have been leaking are all technically CP, XD. Good luck.
What the
So yeah, what seemed
fuck?
like a post of her just being edgy as always, saying, "Hey, I've always been edgy. I've always been on 4chan. I've thought the same thing since I was 14." Ended up being one of the dumbest admissions of guilt I've ever
Holy
seen in my
fuck,
life.
yeah.
Yes, she's been on 4chan since she was a minor. And yes, since then, she's been promiscuous. She's been sending explicit images of herself. She's been sexting.
Yeah, sir.
She distributed illegal
Yeah, so
material,
she's
and she's out here talking about it
that
like,
is basically
"Oh, gotcha." Someone would of course point this out, replying, "You realize taking the pictures and uploading them is you transmitting / distributing illegal CP as well, right? Just because
Exactly,
it's yourself doesn't
bro.
remove that." This is when Elfen would say, "Yeah, I know, but that shit was ages ago, and I sent it to a few people at different time intervals. I didn't know they would leak it because they're awful people. I hope they suffer." Smiley face. This is of course in reference to the many nudes you can find online
is
of her. So that means a
crazy,
lot of
bro.
websites are hosting CP at the moment, if she's to be believed. At this point, she was fair game, okay? And this is when John Zilla would make this Twitter thread saying, "Most people think Elfen Psyop privated because she crashed out over her white supremacist friends finding out that she isn't white. But in actuality, it was because it was found out she groomed and sent weird and inappropriate things to minors on her Discord server." The first example would be how she made a community member who was 16 draw a doujin, right? Like some sort of a adult comic of her and a VTuber she looked up to. He would post it in her Discord and she would say, "Holy fucking shit, dude. Oh my god." She was very excited over it. She'd also send him some very explicit messages.
Oh,
Like, for
yeah,
example, he'd
no,
make
no,
artwork of her holding a
We're not-
gun
we're
on
not
her
looking at that,
stomach,
bro.
and she'd say, "I love
We're
the
not
weight
looking
of
at
the
that.
gun on my stomach. It makes me very horny." And finally, there
That
will be
is
this
correct,
screenshot
bro.
in which she says, when I grow up, I'm going to be like Masato and groom blah, blah, blah. And there'd even be a message with her saying, pedophile bros, rise up. So now her community had to wrestle with the fact that not only was she not a virgin, not only was she not white, but she was also someone who was practically a weirdo to minors. Go figure. What Johnzilla had posted was part of a wider expose that fully sought to expose Elfin and ruin her career that was posted on 4chan. In it, we can see even more images, like how, for example, she would let this minor into an NSFW 18 plus channel knowing that he's a minor. She doesn't care. Why would she? But look, I know at this point you're thinking she's completely irredeemable. No way she still has fans, right? Well, there's a reason I refer to her fans throughout this whole video as castrated men. They're not castrated like literally, like physically. They're castrated mentally, in the sense that they stand for nothing. Their life is meaningless in the sense that they're willing to throw anything away just for a chance at having a gooner girlfriend. Someone would reply to Johnzilla's thread saying, "What the fuck? Based? Me next?" in all caps. So guys, I don't care. She could murder someone. She could, I don't know, carpet bomb an entire family neighborhood. I don't care. I don't care. Please, just get in a call with me and Goon. Please. I've never had a woman touch me. Please. The secondhand embarrassment would continue for Elfin though. She would post an AI-generated clip of Brody Fox, a content creator, with him saying slurs that he never said because it's AI. It would perform abysmally, and he would reply to her saying, "Why did you groom minors and distributed CP?" linking Johnzilla's thread, out-ratioing her by 5 times. Yeah, at this point it was obvious. Elfin was becoming a lolcow. In fact, she had already become one by the time she deactivated the first time in December. Seeing how much the pressure was mounting and how many of her close friends or community members were telling her, "You're a dumbass for admitting this, you have to do something to contain this disaster," she would make this tweet in a desperate attempt to calm people down, saying, "I lied. I lied about my age and being younger at the time because there's images of me on the internet that I sent to people I trusted. Never full nudity, and they used AI to make revenge porn of it. They actively posted on all spaces I'm in, trying to get back at me for rejecting them. How do you counter that? How do you even stop it? So yeah, I lied to scare them." Yeah, right. And I'm French. What are we doing? Lying now? No one believed that, especially with the proof that she so readily invited a 16-year-old into an NSFW channel on her Discord. It was over, and even Elfin had enough self-awareness to understand that. This is why shortly afterwards, a day later, on January 7th, 2026, she would yet again deactivate her Twitter, but this time wipe her YouTube channel and pretty much delete all socials. And the final thing she'd do is post an announcement on Discord, pretty much announcing her graduation and how she was ceasing all activities for good now. Here's what she had to say. "Hey, thank you for always being by my side. When I first started streaming, it was crazy to me to have so many people like me so much and want to talk to me. It felt exhilarating to have friends and a community. All the art I got, all the friendships I made, the 10-hour Among Us sessions, it was incredible. Probably the best time I've ever had in my life. I wouldn't trade this time for the world. It meant everything to me, and you guys meant everything to me. I'd like to thank you all for being amazing agents."
for that long,
That's what she called her community. "For believing in me, even though I've always been a massive loser. For always sticking by my side, buying my merch, liking me at all. I wish I could give you more than this. I wish I could be more than what I am for you guys, and I'm so sorry for disappointing you like I do every time. But I just wanted to say I really love you guys. Despite all the controversies and dramas we've been through, it's been way too fun to want to forget all of this. I guess the Elfin saga had to end on a weird bittersweet note like this. Fucking chaotic. It definitely wasn't meant to last. I never believed in myself that much. Too much shit has happened, and I'm too small of a person to be able to handle it alone. I've lost. It doesn't matter anymore. Please don't be sad when I'm gone. You can always look back on memories. So corny. I'll be graduating for good. I wish I could have a stream rather than this Discord announcement, but this is the best I could bring myself to doing. I don't want to seem pathetic on stream, have to act nonchalant. Thank you for being with me. I love you all. It was really nice while it lasted. Heart emoji." And so this was it. This time it was actually official. It wasn't like the other time she deactivated and just came back a few days later. No, this was it. Elfin Psyop would be no more. And as you might have guessed, people celebrated again, but her community was gutted. And shortly afterwards, she would completely delete her Discord.
Nope.
"Elfin Psyop is a real one. I'm gonna miss my homie. I'm broken right now. She'll be with us always, in one form or another. Plenty more
What
Indian
the
women
hell?
out there. Just go to India and bring one home." Dude, look at this tweet. Just look. Oh my god. "When I die, Elfin will still be on my mind. I couldn't forget these past couple of years if I tried. Castrated beyond belief." You
My
see, when
God,
people
they're
make
beyond
fun of the
saving, bro.
male loneliness epidemic, don't show them statistics, okay? Don't make them think that it's just some guy who's sad that he's single. Show them these people mourning as if they lost a family member, when in fact it was just some grifter who was a Pakistani woman that pretended she was white. It is so pathetic, man. Okay, this is probably my
Oh
favorite
my
tweet.
God.
Okay, this is... Your Pocky brothers will miss you, Elfin Pakistan.
Oh my
There was a
God.
lot of funny memes. Gets called brown once, fucking dies. Look at this guy. I wake up with the New Year's hangover, and one of the first things I learn is that Elfin is brown. First off, the fuck that I missed. Second off, is there a single one of you motherfuckers that's actually white? And just like that, the legendary meteoric rise of Elfin would end as quickly as it had started. Not with a bang, not with a whisper, but in a flaming hot pile of shitty diarrhea. But hey, as far as I know, the artist that had been ghosted by Elfin worked things out, and now you have an attorney involved. Meanwhile, Riri is still crying over the fact that she grifted, tried to be Elfin, and now her entire career is ruined. Hey man, all I gotta say is you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But before I end the video, I do want to point out something that's very, very interesting. There's a conspiracy theory going around right now that the reason why Elfin left and deleted all socials is because she's being pursued by UK tax authorities. You see, when you would donate to her PayPal link, it would show an email. It would say payment to blank blank at hotmail.com. And this was clearly not her name. This was a man's name. This was her
Ooh.
boyfriend that she had while she cheated on him with 6 other guys. However, you have to remember, Elfin was in the UK under a student visa, which doesn't allow her to work or earn any income. It seemed like she was funneling all her earnings to her boyfriend. So the theory is that maybe she broke up with her boyfriend and he found out that she cheated on him with 6 guys and she was doing all this dumb shit on the internet. So now he's getting the tax authorities after her so he can reclaim the money that she took from him while also getting her kicked out of the country.
Oh my
Definitely an
God.
Interesting theory, but I do think it might be a bit of a reach. I guess only time will tell. I
Only
personally
time
think that
will tell,
Elfin will
man.
try to pull a
We don't
Gunpei
know
because
about
she's
that.
practically Gunpei but 10 times worse. Eventually, she might recreate a new persona, a new character, and try to come back into streaming slowly. Will she carefully disguise herself? No, people will recognize her, but her community will be very happy that she's back because as you can see, there's a void in their hearts that still hasn't been filled, guys. I've made so many videos, throughout this career. Some of them involve disturbing topics, but I've never been so disturbed as I have been while researching for this video. I'm sure you also lost hope in humanity multiple times as you were watching this, so hey, you're welcome. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching until the end. As a reminder, make sure to check out my Stacked page, okay? It's going to be filled to the brim with content. I'm going to be very active there. You'll find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Thank you so much
Just
again.
in case,
I love you so much.
I'm just gonna send a
platonically, and
stream.
I'll see you in the next
Subscribe
video
to
whenever
Legion,
that
guys.
is.
W documentary channel. Let's go. W. He also made a video about Marlo, so that's also really good. Yeah, it's a good video. And honestly, I think I should end stream now because I'm pretty much like mostly done with the sketch. I'm just like listening to the video at this point, bro. I'm like watching the video. I'm not even trying to draw anything. Like I'm pretty much like done with the sketch. I don't know when I'm gonna stream again. I'm just gonna stream whenever I feel like I want to stream. So yeah. Yeah. I think that's the end of the stream. That's really nice. It's been fun, guys. I finally I was able to get my first chatter, bro. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna be ending stream now. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. Love and peace. I don't know.